Commander, the human vessel's sensor arrays just synchronized.
Perfectly. All at once. Show me.
Commander Zurash Cade had watched a fleet die once, in the Yurgathi Purge, decades ago. He had never seen one die to a whistle tune before. I've never liked heights, which is why hull work always came last, once the coffee kicked in and my hands stopped shaking. Today was repaint day on the Bertha May, my ship, if you can call 30 years of scrap metal and duct tape a ship. Command wanted the outer sensor housings touched up before the Kaelvorn trade delegation swung by to gawk at us. Fine by me. I clipped my harness to the rail, grabbed my bucket, and got to humming. The housings were dented from 100 reentries, corroded around the bolts, the kind of ugly that only a guy who'd bled for a ship could love. I scraped, primed, and while the primer dried, I did what I always do, ran my hand along the internal calibration ring, just to feel its seat right, the way my old chief taught me. Muscle memory, mostly. Didn't think twice about it. 3 kilometers off our bow, aboard the scout ship Ashburn's Whisper, Sensor Officer Threx watched his console flicker and frowned. Every long-range node on the human vessel had just synced in perfect unison, a pattern he'd only ever seen in drilled military arrays. He logged it as a glitch. Humans built strange, ugly things. Surely that was all this was, wasn't it? He ran a diagnostic anyway, mostly to satisfy the itch behind his second set of eyes. The diagnostic came back clean. Whatever was happening on that battered human hull, it wasn't a malfunction. It was working exactly as intended, which was somehow worse. Back on the hull, I moved to the next housing, singing something my ex-wife used to hate, off-key and proud of it. The paint fumes were getting to me a little, so I cracked my visor for air and kept twisting the calibration collar, half a turn at a time, listening for the click that meant it was seated. Threx's confusion became something else when he pulled the sync logs. The pattern wasn't random. It matched, node for node, the harmonic signature of a fire control kill chain, the kind Kaelvorn doctrine buried under 3 layers of AI authentication. No AI signature showed on the human ship at all. Just one biological heat source, moving hull panel to hull panel, methodically. He called it up to Kaelvorn in the science bay. She didn't answer for a long moment. What could possibly explain a weapons-grade array being tuned by hand? I didn't know any of that, obviously. I was thinking about lunch. Something with the third housing was stuck, corrosion in the hinge, so I gave it the traditional fix, a solid whack with the heel of my palm. It seated with a satisfying clunk. Somewhere behind my ribs I registered the ship humming back at me, low and steady, like it approved. Kaelvorn ran the readings 3 times before she believed them. The human wasn't recalibrating sensors. He was manually retuning a full planetary defense-grade targeting lattice, the kind her own people needed a support ship and 6 technicians to align, using nothing but tactile feedback and, she was fairly sure, a him. And he was 31% faster than her own certified crews. She requested Commander Cade's presence immediately. She did not yet know that the delegation shuttle, currently on its lazy scenic pass beneath the human's hull, was drifting directly through every targeting solution the array was quietly generating and discarding, one after another, like breathing. She ran the projection forward anyway, because she couldn't stop herself. At the human's current pace, the entire lattice would be fully calibrated, tested, and combat-ready in under 40 minutes. No shipyard, no support crew, just one man, a bucket, and a song stuck in his head. Cade arrived already annoyed, expecting a maintenance report, not what Kaelvorn showed him. 41 weapons locks resolved and released in the last 6 minutes alone, each one clean, each one lethal, each one utterly unauthorized because the human doing it had never once entered a command code. He hadn't needed to. His hands already knew the answer. I finally got to the 8th housing, wiped my visor, and muttered to myself that Command really should spring for a proper drone for this. Would have been done in half the time. I had no idea I was the drone. I had no idea the decorative antenna cluster I'd bumped with my elbow 20 minutes ago was a manual override for something the manual called, in faded stencil, planetary option glass. Cade understood then, watching the readouts, what humanity had actually built after their old wars. Not smarter machines, but machines dumb enough and men stubborn enough that nothing, no virus, no jamming field, no clever infiltrator, could talk either one of them out of doing the job. Kaelvorn Doctrine trusted certified crews and layered AI. Humanity, apparently, had simply decided to trust Dale. The redundancy wasn't code. The redundancy was a bored man with a paint bucket who couldn't be hacked because there was nothing in his head to hack. Just a chief's old lessons and a song he half remembered. He gave the order to withdraw the delegation shuttle at a leisurely, non-alarming pace, which was Kaelvorn for don't run, don't run. Whatever you do, don't run. I finished the 10th housing right as the shuttle peeled off, and figured they'd probably seen enough gawking for one day. Can't blame them. The Bertha May's not much to look at. I climbed down, unclipped my harness, and told my chief the sensors were holding steady, no complaints. He asked if I'd had any trouble. Nah, I said. Little corrosion, nothing a good whack didn't fix. Same as always. Filed under the Kaelvorn's after-action report, 3 systems away. Incident classified as unscheduled readiness drill. 0 casualties. Recommend all future joint exercises be observed from significantly farther away. Possibly a different galaxy. Addendum. In Vale Orn's handwriting, recommend we never, under any circumstances, ask the humans what Bertha May means.